All right. Hey, everybody. It's Pastor Joseph. It is August 22nd when I'm doing this. We're going to start using psalm tones during worship on Sundays. And this may be old hat to some of you. This may be very familiar. To some of you, it may be new. And if it's new, it might be sort of intimidating at first. So on the corner of the screen here, what you're going to see is what will be in the bulletin. So you'll have a tone up top. This is psalm tone 9 from the ELW. And if you go below that, you're going to have the psalm for the day. So the first thing you want to do when you look at this is you want to notice in the first line, happy are they who have not walked in the counsel of the wicked. There's a little hash mark there after counsel. And counsel, after that, it's going to be 3 syllables, of the wicked. And if you look at your tone up above, you're going to see those 3 notes. So you have a G, B flat, and then back to A. So we're going to start the tone. We're going to stay on an A until we get to the hash mark. And then we're going to do that little G, B flat, A. And if you go to the second line, we're also going to start on A. But now we're going to do nor lingered in the way of sinners, nor sat in the seats. And that's the hash mark of the scornful. So you're going to do G, F, D for the last 3 syllables of that line. And you're just going to bounce back and forth here. So the trick here is just start on A until you get to the hash mark, and then just do the little melody at the end of that. So if you put this together, it's going to sound like, or the tone itself is going to be. So when we do this, you'll hear the tone first, and then we'll go into the psalm. So the way this sounds, if you actually do the psalm with it, A is probably too high for me, but whatever. Happy are they who have not walked in the counsel of the wicked, nor lingered in the way of sinners, nor sat in the seats of the scornful. So you notice there, all we're doing is we're going to stay on the first note until you hit the hash mark, and then you do the melody, and then you go to the second one, and you do the same thing. So what's nice about this, a couple of things. One is that once you have the melody in your head, you don't need to be looking back at the psalm tone every time, but you can have it's a very meditative way to chant the psalms. The second way, or thing that's kind of nice about this, is you can do this with any text. So for example, if we chant the prayer of the day, you would use a tone like this, where you just stay on an initial note and then resolve it with a little melody at the end here. And you can take a tone like this and you can use it for any text. So sometimes I think we'll use Isaiah will be the psalmody for the day. The Magnificat during Advent is used as the psalmody for the day once. And so that would be, even though it's not a psalm, you just use the psalm tone and you just do the same thing. So this actually gives us a thing that's really flexible and we can use in a lot of different ways. So if this is new to you, I think it's going to be, the first time you do it, it might take a little bit of practice to get the hang of it, but you should get it pretty quickly. There are different ways that you can play with this too. So if you look at the text here, you'll notice it alternates bold and not bold. And all that would be is if you have a cantor who's leading this, you would have the cantor sing verse 1, the assembly sings verse 2, back to the cantor for 3, so on and so forth. And if you see the R here, if you look in the ELW, it often has R's in certain places on our worship texts. R just means refrain. And so if you had an antiphon, so if you had like a verse that was pulled out of the psalm and you were going to be using, it would just mean that you would go back to that verse and then keep on going. We're probably not going to do that, at least initially, so you don't have to worry about it. But I hope that with a little bit of practice, I think you'll get the hang of it, and it'll be sort of an enjoyable way to do some singing of the Psalms.